What if protecting your memory as you age didn't start with a pill or a prescription, but with a simple nut that looks like your brain? Yes, the humble walnut has earned a reputation for more than just its shape. It's become one of the most researched and recommended foods for cognitive health in seniors. That's not just wellness hype. Decades of nutritional science show that walnuts can have a real, measurable effect on brain function, especially in older adults. The reason is simple. Walnuts are incredibly rich in a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid called alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA. ALA is known for its ability to calm inflammation, not just in your joints or arteries, but also in the brain. And brain inflammation is one of the silent drivers behind memory problems, slower thinking, and even neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. But walnuts don't stop at ALA. They also deliver polyphenols, powerful plant antioxidants that can actually cross the blood-brain barrier. That means they don't just help your body in general, they specifically target the cells that keep your mind sharp. These polyphenols help combat oxidative stress, which you can think of as the rust that slowly builds up in your brain as you age. Too much oxidative stress damages brain cells, disrupts communication between neurons, and weakens memory over time. In clinical studies, older adults who consumed walnuts daily showed improved performance in tasks involving processing speed, working memory, and cognitive flexibility. In other words, they didn't just feel sharper, they tested sharper. Now there's a catch. It's not just about eating walnuts, it's about eating them right. Many people unknowingly cancel out the benefits by choosing heavily processed walnuts, salted, sweetened, or roasted in cheap oils. These versions often contain added sodium and sugar, which can contribute to the very inflammation we're trying to reduce. To get the full benefits, seniors should stick with raw or dry roasted walnuts, ideally unsalted. And it doesn't take much. Just 7 walnut halves a day, or about an ounce, is enough to support brain health without overloading on calories or fat. Finally, what matters most isn't the occasional handful, but the habit. The brain thrives on consistency. Just like your muscles need regular movement to stay strong, your memory needs daily nourishment. Eating walnuts once in a while won't make a difference, but making it part of your morning, your salad, or your bedtime snack, that's where the long-term benefits begin. So, the next time you look at a walnut and think it looks like a tiny brain, remember, maybe that's nature's way of hinting that this little nut belongs exactly where it resembles. Inside your head, helping you stay you. It's easy to overlook how memory works, until it doesn't. For many seniors, the first signs feel small. Forgetting where you put the remote, searching for a word that's just out of reach, missing a doctor's appointment you swore you had written down. These moments are often brushed off with humor. Senior moments, we call them. But deep down, they stir a quiet fear. What if this is more than aging? What if it's the beginning of decline? That's why something as simple and tangible as eating a walnut a day can feel empowering. It's not a miracle cure, but it is something you can do. Something real, something proactive, to protect your brain, day by day. And the science backs it up. Several large studies, including those funded by the NIH, have linked regular walnut consumption to improved cognitive aging. One study followed older adults for more than 2 years and found that those who ate walnuts regularly showed better memory performance and even fewer symptoms of depression. That matters because mood and memory are deeply connected. Inflammation and oxidative stress don't just impair thinking, they also affect the brain's chemistry in ways that make it harder to feel hopeful, motivated, or emotionally balanced. Walnuts, by reducing those biological stressors, appear to help on both fronts, memory and mood. And if you're thinking, well, I already eat healthy, that's great, but walnuts still bring something special to the table. Unlike other nuts, they're especially high in neuroprotective compounds and offer a unique blend of healthy fat, antioxidants, and plant-based protein that directly supports aging brains. But there's another reason they work so well. They're easy to stick with. There's no complicated preparation, no special tools. You don't have to cook or measure or count macros. Just grab a small handful, ideally in the morning, when your brain is fresh and ready to absorb nutrients, and you've already taken a step toward better brain health. Even better? Pair them with something that boosts absorption, like a piece of fruit or a spoonful of plain yogurt. The natural sugars and probiotics help shuttle those healthy fats and antioxidants into your system more efficiently, making each bite count even more. Still, consistency remains the most important piece of the puzzle. You don't have to eat perfectly. You don't need to follow strict brain diets or memorize long lists of no-no foods. You just need to show up for your brain, every day. And walnuts make that easy. They're portable, affordable, and don't spoil quickly. Keep a small jar by the coffee maker or toss a few into your bag before a walk. When brain care becomes part of your daily rhythm, like brushing your teeth or taking a morning stroll, it stops feeling like a task. It becomes a quiet act of self-preservation, one you can actually taste. While walnuts shine for their brain-supporting nutrients, it's worth understanding why the brain changes in the first place, especially after 60. Aging doesn't just mean getting slower or more forgetful. Inside your brain, the very structure of neurons begins to shift. Some cells shrink, some lose connections, and the protective layers around them, called myelin, thin out. Blood flow may decrease, reducing oxygen and nutrient delivery. Inflammation creeps in quietly, and together, these changes make thinking, remembering, and focusing more challenging over time. But here's the hopeful truth. Diet can influence all of these factors. Not reverse aging, no. But slow the slide, preserve function, delay decline. And walnuts are one of the few foods shown to positively affect multiple pathways involved in brain aging, not just one or two. One reason walnuts are so effective is because of the way their nutrients interact. ALA helps build and maintain the structure of neurons. Polyphenols reduce oxidative stress that can damage cells. Vitamin E, also found in walnuts, acts as a membrane stabilizer, protecting the outer layer of brain cells from damage. Magnesium, another mineral found in smaller amounts, plays a role in nerve signaling and relaxation. Together, these compounds form a kind of nutritional defense system. They don't just patch up problems, they help maintain the foundation of cognitive health. It's no wonder some neurologists call walnuts food for thought in the most literal sense. And unlike many health foods that feel foreign or hard to digest, think green powders, algae supplements, exotic berries, walnuts are familiar, comfortable. They're something your body recognizes, something you likely ate as a child, baked into banana bread, or sprinkled on holiday salads. That familiarity matters, because habits rooted in comfort are the ones that stick. And when it comes to preserving memory, long-term consistency is everything. You're not trying to win the battle in a day. You're building a lifestyle that honors your mind for the long run. Now, some seniors worry about the calories in nuts, and that's fair. Walnuts are dense in energy, which is why the portion matters. You don't need a bowl, you need a few. 1 ounce, 7 whole nuts, that's it. For most people, this small serving provides all the cognitive benefit without pushing calorie intake too high. And the fats in walnuts are the healthy kind, unsaturated, anti-inflammatory, and heart-friendly. In fact, walnut consumption has been linked not just to better brain health, but also to improved cholesterol, better blood pressure, and reduced risk of heart disease. That's good news for the brain too, because what's good for the heart is good for the mind. As we talk about walnuts and memory, it's important to acknowledge something else, something we often tiptoe around: the fear of losing who we are. Memory isn't just about remembering names or dates. It's how we hold on to ourselves, our history, our favorite jokes, the way we make coffee, the faces of people we love. When memory slips, it feels like the edges of identity start to blur. That's why even the smallest daily rituals, like choosing to eat something that nourishes the brain, can be deeply grounding. They remind us we're still here, still caring, still active participants in our own well-being. And walnuts, simple as they are, can be part of that story. Of course, diet is just one piece of the memory puzzle. Exercise, sleep, hydration, and mental engagement all matter. But food is the one thing we do multiple times a day. It's consistent, it's controllable, and for many seniors, it becomes a meaningful act of self-care. Adding walnuts to your daily routine can also spark a broader shift in how you approach your meals. You start reading labels more carefully, swapping out sugary snacks for fruit, replacing processed oils with olive oil. It's a ripple effect. One healthy choice leads to another. And soon, your entire lifestyle starts to align with your goal. Protecting your mind as you age, with grace and confidence. Some people ask, isn't it too late to start now? But that's the beauty of the human brain. It responds, even in later life. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and rewire itself, continues well into our 70s and 80s. Yes, it slows down, but it never fully stops. And nutrition is one of the ways we support that process. When you feed your brain the right nutrients, especially consistently, it rewards you with clarity, focus, and resilience. So, no, it's never too late. Whether you're 60 or 85, your brain still wants to grow, to learn, to connect. All you have to do is give it the right tools. So perhaps it's time to think of walnuts not just as food, but as a kind of promise. A small, crunchy commitment to your future self. Each nut says, I'm still investing in who I am. Not in a dramatic, sweeping way, but in the quiet, daily act of choosing health. That kind of habit doesn't just nourish your brain. It affirms your worth, your right to feel sharp, to stay engaged, to be fully, wonderfully present in the moments that matter most. Whether it's a walk in the garden, a chat with your grandchild, or simply remembering where you left your glasses without a second thought. As you hold a walnut in your hand, it doesn't feel like much. It's small, uneven, slightly bitter if you eat it plain, but inside that wrinkled shell lies something profound. A lifetime of nutrients shaped by nature to support the very organ that makes you, you. The brain is the most complex structure in the human body, and also one of the most vulnerable. It doesn't ask for grand gestures. It just needs quiet, consistent care. A little movement, a little rest, a little nourishment. And yes, a little walnut each day. It sounds almost too simple, but sometimes the simplest habits are the ones we overlook the most. Think of it this way. Every day, your brain works hard for you. It helps you make decisions, recall memories, recognize faces, follow conversations, and stay connected to the world around you. That's not something to take for granted. So what do we give it in return? Often we give it stress, too little sleep, sugary snacks, skipped meals, or long hours of mental fatigue. What if instead we gave it something healing? A small act of care, repeated day after day. Not because someone told us to, but because we want to keep showing up fully for ourselves and the people we love. You don't need to overhaul your life to protect your memory. You just need to start with something you can commit to. One nut. Every day. Let it be your anchor. Let it be your reminder that aging doesn't mean giving up on mental clarity. It means becoming more intentional about how we live, what we eat, and how we nurture the mind that's carried us through so many seasons of life. There's comfort in knowing that no matter what yesterday looked like, you can begin again today, with something as simple as a walnut. So, tomorrow morning, when the coffee's brewing and the house is still quiet, reach for that little handful. Chew slowly, breathe deeply. Let it be more than a snack. Let it be a quiet promise to your brain. You're still listening to it, still showing up, still trying, not perfectly, but persistently. And sometimes, that persistence is all the brain needs to keep going strong. Not every memory needs to fade. Not every name needs to be forgotten. And not every senior needs to accept decline as inevitable. With one nut a day, you can say, I'm doing what I can to stay me.